Okay, in this lesson we're going to learn how to do forward flight and start 3D. Basically, what you're going to do is just start to do circles counterclockwise and clockwise in each orientation. In the guide, I say to do 5 circles in a row, and for this video, I'm only going to do 2 just to kind of show you. Now, each time when you get done, you want to come back to tail in and get back to your safe position. Now basically what you're learning here, and you'll see me doing a little bit, is kind of just rocking the helicopter back and forth like that, because you're learning how to adjust the cyclic and how to keep it into a constant heading hold forward flight circle. And that's really key later on in your flight. Now here I'm starting some backwards stuff, and a lot of people think it's crazy to start backwards and inverted flight this soon. And you're going to crash a lot. It's going to take a few months to get this down, but what you're going to learn is you're going to learn how to groove in a circle like this, and once you get it here, it kind of stays there on its own. Just make sure that you practice each left and right, or clockwise and counterclockwise circles, because it's different. I mean, the feel of the helicopter is different, you're pushing the sticks different, and you don't want to get comfortable in one single orientation. So there's backwards clockwise, and once you start working on the forward flight, keep working on your inverted as well. And same thing with inverted. You want to just kind of push off in a consistent way, like I just did there, always away from yourself, and just start to work on trying to get that inverted circle going. And if you do this in your 30 minutes a night practice, you might crash every night. You might crash every time. You might not even get around once, but keep doing it every night for 2 weeks, and I guarantee you're gonna be getting these circles around. Sometimes it gets frustrating, and sometimes you have to go back and kind of work on your hovering a little bit because it helps you get your orientation in. But just practice this 30 minutes a night, each orientation: forward, left, right, backwards, left and right, and inverted forwards, left and right, inverted backwards, left and right. And this will pay dividends later on when you start to work on figure eights and pirouetting and some other orientations. And notice here, another good bailout move. You always want to make sure that you can get out of the circle that you're doing into a tail-in upright orientation. That way you're in your most comfortable place, and just keep practicing that so that you don't have to, at any point that you're at in a circle in real life when you start to do this, that you can bail out. Alright, in this section we're just going to talk about some bonus moves and some stretch moves. Now you're working on circles, and I realize that this is going to be a far stretch, but one of the things you can do is just kind of work on a loop, and all you do to do that is get some forward speed up and pull back on the cyclic and push up on the collective, and you'll pull it into a loop. Now you probably crash the first few times you do this, but it's worth trying. And since we're also learning backwards flight, it's not a bad idea to try a backwards loop, and it's good practice. Even if you don't get it around on the sim, it'll be good practice for you to teach yourself how to bail out and how to get out of it if you have a problem. As another stretch exercise, we worked on how to get inverted by kind of doing half a rainbow or half a flip when we learned inverted hovering. Now an extension of that is kind of doing some upright tic-tocs. Now when you first start doing these, they're going to be sloppy and they're not going to come together right. But the secret to this is you want to lead with the cyclic and use a lot of cyclic and not as much pitch. And that'll basically get it done. Another thing to practice as a bonus and stretch move is just some stationary pirouetting. Really what you're doing here is just getting used to pirouetting the helicopter at this point. You don't have to worry too much about correction. And lastly, just some side-on rainbows. You want to do these a little bit higher in real life. But this is the same move as the tic-toc, it's just more accentuated. Now in real life you might start something off like that and just push away from yourself, but there you go, there's some level 3 stretch moves.